So this was actually our first viewer-submitted question.
Yay.
From Seamus Slater.
Thanks, Seamus.
Thank you. Thank you for not only listening, but also contributing. This is sort of the way we went about this. We said that it was going to happen at noon every day. And in order to make it more random, basically the three of us each made 3 lists of 7. So one list was 7 body parts, one list was 7 animals, and one list was 7 daily tasks that you would have to complete. And then we just randomly assigned each person. I think we all kept our own body parts, right? Yeah. We kept our own body parts and then got from one of the other ones a list of tasks and a list of animals. And then those kind of mapped to each other. And we had to pick a couple of them to figure out how that would affect us and how we would get around our limitations or boons from our new animal parts.
I don't know. Did you get boons? I didn't get boons.
I kind of got a boon on one situation, maybe.
So there's some level of luck and some level of choice, but
right.
we want to work in the random part. So.
Yeah, because we thought that having to sort of think on your feet about it, despite us playing this out days in advance, just ignore that part, was kind of part of the fun. So, so I'll sort of go through my first two situations that I was given. So my first one is a first date with your high school crush. And your eyes are replaced with blue crab eyes. So blue crab, blue crab eyes are great because they're these little tiny, just like black beady eyes that are on like stalks that like stick out a little bit, and then when the crab gets threatened, they like recede back into its body, which is really, really not great for a date situation, as you might imagine, for many reasons. Both for yourself and for your date. So on the bright side, blue crabs do have vision that is, and I quote here, relatively acute for an arthropod. But that still sounds really, like a hedge. Really bad. It is not good vision. Apparently blue crabs make up for this by having actually a pretty excellent sense of smell, but you only got the eyes, so you're kind of out of luck on that one.
Well, I mean, you're not the prettiest, so maybe your high school crush also isn't the prettiest, but you can't tell anymore?
Well, so sort of what I realized is that my initial reaction to this is that you see yourself, you're at this restaurant and you're in like a nice blazer and you look good. You're facing away from the door and your date walks in, you're like, oh, this is good, this is going well. Comes around, sees the eyes sticking up, she screams, your eyes pop back in, she screams more, she runs out, things just go bad. So what we really want to try to do is avoid that situation. That's kind of what I've realized is that no matter your intentions on this date, if you get my drift, you're going to have to reveal this at some point and explain it to her.
Right.
What's going on.
Yeah, it might come up.
It's going to come up. So
we have from until noon to figure this out.
Right. Well, so my goal was basically to avoid that panicked reaction as much as possible so you get a chance to explain before she runs screaming from the restaurant. So the first thing, I really hope that this is a lunch date, which I know you might be thinking that gives you less time to repair. But if it's a lunch date, if you get a table outside, you can wear sunglasses and just keep those stalks down low. And I think you can at least get like a word in before she notices.
Excuse me. Before we get started, I do have to say something. She's like, "Oh, you're gay." It's like, no,
nope, not that. Maybe worse.
Yeah, maybe worse.
But yeah, so I think that's sort of your game plan here, and I think honestly, it's kind of in some ways nice because either your date is over very quickly, and you knew, if she wasn't going to accept this, which in all honesty is not as bad as things could be.
Ben, I think that's way up there in the things I wouldn't date territory. Like, there's a lot of people I would date that I would not date if they had crab eyes.
Well, no, but like, if you think about some of the other possibilities, just the crab eyes is not that bad.
Oh, compared to the animal parts you're talking.
Right, yes.
Yeah, this happens every day at noon, so you're definitely going to get something worse than crab eyes.
Yeah. So I think that's sort of your plan there is just hope to God it's a lunch date, sit outside, wear some sunglasses, explain things, hope things go well. If it's a dinner date, oh man, I guess it could be the guy who like wears sunglasses inside or whatever, but I think that's really your only hope And also
Now,
just go ahead.
can I propose an alternate plan?
Of course.
So she walks in. You've managed to talk to the waiter. You do the sunglasses trick on the waiter because you don't care about what he thinks of you afterwards, and he's going to be a little more lenient because he wants the tip still.
That's right. Yeah.
And so she walks in, gets stopped by the waiter, and the waiter's like, miss, your date has requested that this be a true blind date. He wants it to be all about the personality. And he blindfolds her.
And you're already basically blind because you have crab eyes, so this works out great.
You can put on a blindfold, but your eyes are just going to be above it anyway.
That's true. You make a very compelling argument.
So you go through this date, and then you, like, when it comes time to, like, get the check, you just, like, be like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. And you leave the money for the check, but you disappear, which is not a great look for you. But it's a better look than crab eyes.
But you're gonna have to break the news at some point.
No, you don't. You're gonna lose them the next day.
Well, but you're gonna have to explain something else at that point.
Look, you pick very selective days for dates.
Yeah, you only see her on good days.
It's like, oh, I got the walrus penis today. I'm gonna go call up my girlfriend.
All right, advancing to my next situation, and with that.
What if you had a walrus penis?
My next situation was hosting a Thanksgiving dinner. We said like 20 guests with a marmoset right arm. So marmosets, in case you aren't aware, are very adorable, small, furry monkeys, basically. They're very cute. It's great. And at first glance, this is not that bad because it's a monkey, it's a primate.
Similar to a normal human arm.
You know, like it's going to be a little weird because it's a monkey arm, but like they're primates. It can't be that different, right? Well, so there's a few issues I've noticed. One, they are furry, so your arm is covered in fur and you're cooking with it, which isn't ideal.
Ooh, yeah, no. That's second, a lot of hairs.
Marmosets have claws, not nails, to like help them climb trees. So all of your fingers are ending in relatively pretty sharp and decently sized, actually, because your hands are pretty big at this, they're... Oh, also, one thing we did not say in the stipulations, the body parts are human scaled.
Oh, yeah. It's not a tiny arm.
It is not a tiny marmoset
That'd be
arm.
Pretty funny.
That would be hilarious, but very impractical. We were saying they are human scale. That's an important thing to point out. So the claws are pretty big in this situation. So that's kind of good, kind of bad. The one pretty bad thing is that marmosets actually don't have opposable thumbs. So on your right hand, which for me, I am right-handed, so my dominant hand, you do not have an opposable thumb, which is going to complicate some things. So I figure those are kind of your three big issues that you're going to kind of deal with.
I mean, at least it's not both your arms. That'd be way worse.
That is, biggest silver lining, only one arm. You still have one human arm, which is a great situation to be in. For the fur, so I think you just wrap your arm in hairnets. I feel like you kind of just have a lot of hairnets around with this condition.
Can you wrap your arm? Can you wrap your arm with hairnets? They don't work that way.
Fishnet, like stockings or something.
Maybe, yeah. You do something. Actually, a stocking's a good idea. So just pull a stocking up your arm, and I guess also put on like a long sleeve shirt over it. I think you're decently protected at that point.
Yeah, it's a wintry holiday. Like, people aren't gonna like call you out for wearing a sweater.
Well, I mean, it's your friends and family coming over, I'm sure, so they know about your situation. You just don't want to get hair in the. You want to keep as much fur out of the food as possible.
Yeah.
If there's a little, they'll see it's a marmoset day and they'll understand. It'll be fine. For the claws, I don't know how much of a problem this actually is. Like, it's gonna make some things complicated to like, hold things, but like you can like peel potatoes, just like right there.
Could be useful.
Like you might, they climb trees with them. You might be able to like open a can with it. Like there's a lot of stuff you could probably do. Maybe don't do that one. Just use a can opener, but you could theoretically. It'd be kind of cool. Like there are some benefits there actually. It does mean
you could climb a tree, but you only have one arm that's
right.
That's tree climbing.
It's not really ideal. The thumbs are kind of a problem, and I don't really think there's a solution for that aside from just you're using your left hand for a lot of stuff.
I mean, I'm thinking about using, like, I'm trying to imagine how this would be, and I don't see it being that difficult.
I mean,
just because I still have one thumb.
So the big thing is like picking up, like, think about when you're like putting the turkey in the oven and you don't have an opposable thumb on that.
Yeah, I guess you need to hold on to the handle, but you could, like, cup it from under.
Yeah, it adds a lot of risk. It's a lot of risk. And also just like, if you have to,
And it is your right arm, so are you right-handed?
Yes, exactly. So a lot of things I'm going to have to do left-handed, which is going to be tricky. Like, one thing that's trying to figure out is like if you have to use a can opener, like thinking about using a can opener, that kind of involves thumbs on both hands. I don't know. So there's a lot of stuff that's going to be tricky, but I don't think it's insurmountable.
People do it all the time on Cutthroat Kitchen.
That's true. There you go. But yeah, I think the fur is honestly the biggest problem, just because I'm just seeing like you're making mashed potatoes and it's just like all dropping down in there.
You could just like get a buzzer and buzz it all off beforehand.
No, you can't. Like,
why not?
If there's anything furry like in your whole home, for example, maybe a cat, there's just always going to be at least a little bit of hair and everything.
Yeah, I guess you could try to shave it off. I did not consider that. That's gonna be your arm is gonna look really fucked up, man.
I mean, that's the last of your concerns. It's looks.
Yeah, I guess at that point you should wear like a long sleeve shirt for dinner, and people are gonna ask you, "Hey, what was your animal part today?" And you'll be like, "Nothing, didn't happen. Don't worry about it."
And you just like are always busy carrying something, so you have like an oven mitt on your marmoset hand all
right,
the entire time.
You're terrifying clawed hand.
Yeah, I mean, if you do it that way, you could actually like hide it from the extended family.
They must have heard. There's no way that's not like the hottest family gossip, though.
It might. Everyone knows, but it might not be like quote unquote open knowledge. Like the rest of your family definitely told the rest of your family, but they might not have told you that they told them.
Oh, that's true.
So
they're trying to
pretend
keep it.
They don't know.
I see. That makes sense.
So you're trying to hide it from them, but you don't need to.
Yeah, I mean, pretty typical Thanksgiving dinner family dynamics.